Good evening, everyone. I want to start by asking you a question. What's the one thing you've always wanted to do but never started? Maybe it's a career move, a big idea, a personal goal. Whatever it is, I want you to hold on to that thought for a moment. The biggest barrier to success isn't the world around us, it's the limits we place on ourselves. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every story of triumph begins with a single, powerful force. The way we see ourselves, the way we perceive our abilities, and the way we interpret challenges shape the trajectory of our lives. If we believe we are capable, we act accordingly. If we doubt ourselves, we hesitate, hold back, and ultimately prevent ourselves from reaching our full potential. Belief is the foundation of every success story. It's the invisible force that separates those who move forward from those who remain stuck. People often assume that external circumstances, lack of resources, tough competition, or unfortunate timing are the primary reasons for failure. But more often than not, it is an internal barrier. The truth is, the greatest limitations are the ones we impose on ourselves. When we doubt our ability to succeed, we subconsciously find ways to confirm that doubt. We procrastinate. We hesitate to take risks. We interpret setbacks as signs that we are not good enough. But when we believe in our own potential, everything shifts. Challenges become stepping stones. Failures become lessons. Opportunities appear where they once seemed invisible. Think about the people who have changed the world: entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, and innovators. They weren't always the most skilled or the most fortunate, but they had an unwavering belief in themselves. When Thomas Edison was working on the invention of the light bulb, he failed thousands of times. If he had believed he wasn't smart enough or capable enough, he would have stopped long before he succeeded. But he saw every failure as part of the process, not as evidence of his own inadequacy. His belief kept him moving forward. Similarly, Oprah Winfrey was once told she was not fit for television. If she had accepted that judgment, she never would have become one of the most influential media figures in the world. Her belief in herself outweighed the criticism and rejection she faced. The way we think about ourselves directly influences our actions. If someone believes they are not good at public speaking, they will avoid opportunities to practice, reinforcing their fear. If they believe they are bad at math, they may not even attempt to improve. But when belief shifts, so does behavior. A person who believes they are capable of learning anything will approach challenges with curiosity instead of fear. They will try, fail, learn, and try again. They will persist when others quit because their belief fuels their effort. What we tell ourselves matters. Our self-talk, whether positive or negative, shapes our reality. If we constantly tell ourselves that we are not smart enough, not talented enough, not worthy enough, we start to internalize those thoughts. But the reverse is also true. When we affirm our abilities, when we remind ourselves that we are capable, we begin to act in ways that reinforce that belief. This is not about false confidence or ignoring reality. It's about choosing to see potential instead of limitations. One of the most powerful examples of belief in action is seen in athletes. The difference between a champion and an average performer is often not physical ability, but mindset. Athletes who believe they can win train harder, push themselves further, and refuse to quit when things get tough. Their belief fuels their discipline. It gives them the resilience to keep going when they face setbacks. The same principle applies in every area of life. A student who believes they can improve will study longer and take on challenges with determination. An entrepreneur who believes in their idea will keep refining it until they succeed. A person who believes they can overcome obstacles will always find a way forward. Belief is not about blind optimism. It does not mean ignoring difficulties or pretending that success is guaranteed. It means understanding that setbacks are temporary and that growth is always possible. It means recognizing that ability is not fixed, it can be developed. The moment we shift our mindset from I can't to I can, everything changes. We take more risks, we show up with more confidence, we stop waiting for the perfect moment and start taking action. At the core of every extraordinary achievement is a person who first believed it was possible. The question is not whether we have the ability to succeed, but whether we are willing to believe that we do. Because when we do, we act accordingly. And when we act accordingly, we create the success we once thought was out of reach. Fear is a natural part of life. It's wired into us as a survival mechanism, meant to protect us from danger. But in today's world, fear often shows up in ways that don't serve us. It's not just about physical safety anymore, it's about avoiding failure, rejection, or imperfection. These fears are subtle, but they have a powerful grip on us. They keep us from raising our hand in a meeting, from applying for a job we want, from sharing our ideas, or from taking risks that could change our lives. And the more we listen to fear, the more we reinforce the belief that we are not capable. Growth, on the other hand, happens in discomfort. It happens when we step into uncertainty, when we take risks, when we challenge ourselves beyond what feels safe. Think about a time when you accomplished something you once thought was impossible. Maybe it was learning a new skill, speaking in front of an audience, or pushing yourself physically. At first, it felt uncomfortable, even scary, but as you kept going, that discomfort turned into confidence. That's because growth is the process of expanding beyond what we think we're capable of, and that only happens when we stop letting fear control us. The problem is most people spend their lives avoiding fear instead of facing it. They choose comfort over challenge. They stay in jobs they don't love because the thought of failing at something new is terrifying. They don't speak up because they fear being judged. They don't take action because they're waiting for the fear to go away first. But here's the truth. Fear never completely disappears. The people who grow, the ones who succeed, don't wait for fear to leave. They move forward despite it. When we let fear dictate our decisions, we get stuck. We start playing small. We tell ourselves, I'm not ready yet, or what if I fail? But the real question we should be asking is, what if I never try? What if years from now, we look back and realize we let fear keep us from becoming who we were meant to be? The pain of regret is far greater than the pain of failure, because failure is temporary. It teaches, it redirects, and it strengthens. But regret lingers. It leaves us wondering what could have been if we had just been brave enough to take the leap. Every person who has ever achieved something remarkable had to face fear. They had to walk through uncertainty. They had to take risks, make mistakes, and keep going even when it felt uncomfortable. The most successful people are not the ones who never experience fear. They are the ones who refuse to let it stop them. They understand that every failure is a lesson, every rejection is redirection, and every imperfection is part of the journey. Fear tricks us into thinking that if we fail, it means we're not good enough. But failure is not a reflection of our worth. It's a reflection of our willingness to try. It means we are learning, growing, and stretching ourselves. The only real failure is never trying at all. And when we start to see fear as a signal that we are stepping outside our comfort zone, where real growth happens, it becomes something we can embrace instead of avoid. Imagine if you let go of the fear of failure. Imagine if you decided that rejection was just part of the process. Imagine if, instead of worrying about imperfection, you focused on progress. How much further would you go? How much more would you achieve? How different would your life look if you stopped letting fear make your decisions for you? The next time you feel fear creeping in, remember this. It's not a stop sign. It's a sign that you are about to grow. Lean into it. Push through it. Because the choice isn't between failure and success. The choice is between growth and staying exactly where you are. And the real risk isn't in trying and failing. The real risk is in never trying at all. Facility is one of the most misunderstood experiences in life. From a young age, we are conditioned to see failure as something negative, something to be avoided at all costs. We grow up believing that failing means we aren't smart enough, talented enough, or capable enough. But in reality, failure is none of those things. Failure is not proof that we aren't good enough. It's proof that we are trying. It's evidence that we are pushing ourselves, stepping outside our comfort zones, and attempting something that matters. If we never fail, it means we are not taking risks, and without risks, there is no growth. Every great success story is built on a foundation of failures. The world's most accomplished individuals didn't reach their goals because they never failed. They succeeded because they refused to let failure define them. Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb, famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,0,0,0,0 ways that won't work." He understood that every failed attempt was simply another step towards success. If he had stopped after his first few failures, the world might have remained in darkness for much longer. But he didn't stop, because he knew that failure was part of the process. Oprah Winfrey was once fired from a television job and told she wasn't fit for TV. If she had accepted that failure as the truth, She never would have built the media empire that has inspired millions. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, was rejected by 12 different publishers before someone finally gave her a chance. Today, her books have sold over 500 million copies worldwide. What separates these individuals from the ones who give up after failure? Their ability to reframe it. Instead of seeing failure as a dead end, they saw it as a lesson. Instead of taking it personally, they used it as fuel to move forward. The biggest problem with failure isn't the failure itself, it's the meaning we attach to it. When we fail, we often tell ourselves a story. I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed, this isn't meant for me. But failure is just an outcome, not a reflection of our worth. A failed business doesn't mean you're a failure. A rejected job application doesn't mean you're not talented. A lost opportunity doesn't mean you aren't capable. It simply means that this particular attempt didn't work, and now you have a chance to learn and adjust. Think about a child learning to walk. When a baby falls down, do we say, well, I guess walking just isn't for them? Of course not. We expect them to stumble, to fall, and to try again until they get it right. But as we grow older, we lose that mindset. We start to believe that if we fail at something, we should stop trying. But the truth is, success isn't about never falling. It's about always getting back up. Failure is also a powerful teacher. It provides insights that success never could. When something doesn't work, we are forced to analyze, rethink, and improve. We gain resilience, problem-solving skills, and wisdom. Some of the best innovations in history came from failures. The Post-it note was created because a scientist was trying to make a super strong adhesive, but he accidentally made one that was weak and removable. That failure turned into one of the most popular office products in the world. The same thing happened with the invention of penicillin, which was discovered by accident when Alexander Fleming left a petri dish out too long and noticed that bacteria wouldn't grow near a certain mold. If failure is such an important ingredient of success, why do so many people fear it? Because failure often comes with discomfort. It challenges our ego. It forces us to admit that we don't have all the answers. But the people who achieve the most in life are not the ones who avoid failure. They are the ones who embrace it. They understand that the path to success is never a straight line. It's full of setbacks, detours, and unexpected turns. The key is to keep going, to keep learning, and to never let failure be the reason you stop. So the next time you experience failure, take a moment to recognize what it truly means. It doesn't mean you aren't good enough. It means you are in the process of becoming great. It means you are taking risks, putting yourself out there, and daring to do something meaningful. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of success. The only true failure is giving up. Keep going, keep learning, and remember that every setback is just another step toward your breakthrough. Too often, people wait. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or someone to give them permission. They wait for a sign that tells them it's time to start, that they are ready, that they are good enough. But waiting is a trap. The people who succeed in life, in business, in relationships are not the ones who wait. They are the ones who take control of their own path. They stop making excuses, stop looking for external validation, and take full ownership of their future. Taking ownership means recognizing that no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you your dream job, force you to pursue your goals, or guarantee your success. The responsibility is entirely yours. It's easy to blame circumstances, your upbringing, your financial situation, the economy, or the people around you. But as long as you put the power in someone else's hands, you remain stuck. The moment you decide to take full ownership of your life, everything changes. Because when you stop waiting, you start doing. People often think they need more confidence before they take action, but that's not how it works. Confidence isn't something you magically gain. It's something you build through action. The first time you try something new, you might not feel ready. You might doubt yourself. But taking action despite that fear is what creates confidence. The more you do, the more capable you become. And the more capable you become, the more confident you feel. The cycle begins with ownership. Choosing to act rather than waiting to feel ready. The most successful people understand this. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't let fear stop them. They make decisions, take risks, and take responsibility for the outcomes. If they fail, they don't blame others, they don't make excuses, they learn, adapt, and try again. This mindset is what separates people who achieve their goals from those who spend their lives wishing things were different. There are countless examples of people who succeeded because they refused to wait. Take Elon Musk, for instance. He didn't wait for someone to tell him it was possible to build electric cars or launch rockets into space. He made it happen. Or consider Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She had no background in fashion or business, but she took ownership of her idea, figured out how to make it work, and built a billion-dollar company. These people didn't ask for permission. They took control of their own path. Taking ownership also means letting go of excuses. It's easy to say, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough experience, or I'm not lucky enough. But every excuse is just a way of avoiding responsibility. The truth is, there will never be a perfect time. There will always be challenges. But success comes to those who push forward anyway. If time is an issue, successful people find a way to make time. If they lack experience, they learn. If they fail, they try again. The difference isn't in their circumstances, it's in their mindset. Another key part of ownership is taking control of your reactions. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. Life will throw challenges your way. People will doubt you. Things won't always go as planned. But the way you handle setbacks determines your success. Do you give up, or do you find a way forward? Do you let failure define you, or do you learn from it? Taking ownership means refusing to be a victim of circumstances and instead becoming the author of your own story. It's also important to recognize that external validation is not necessary for success. Many people hold themselves back because they are waiting for approval from their family, their friends, their boss, or society. But if you wait for others to validate your dreams, you will never start. Not everyone will understand your vision, and that's okay. The people who make the biggest impact in the world are often the ones who go against the grain, who pursue their goals even when no one else believes in them. You don't need permission to chase your dreams. You don't need validation to know your path is worthwhile. The only approval you need is your own. So stop waiting. Stop making excuses. Stop looking for signs or the perfect moment. The only thing standing between you and your goals is the decision to take ownership of your life. Success doesn't come from luck, circumstances, or external validation. It comes from action. It comes from responsibility. It comes from refusing to let fear, doubt, or excuses hold you back. The moment you decide to take full ownership, you take back control. And that's when real success begins. We often believe that we need to have everything figured out before we start. We think we need more clarity, more confidence, or the perfect plan before we take the first step. But this mindset keeps us stuck. The truth is, clarity doesn't come from overthinking. It comes from action. The people who achieve their goals, who build successful businesses, who grow and evolve, are not the ones who wait for the perfect moment. They are the ones who take small, consistent steps forward, even when they don't have all the answers. Because momentum creates belief. It's easy to get trapped in analysis paralysis. We tell ourselves we need more research, more preparation, more time. But thinking alone doesn't lead to progress. Doing does. No amount of thinking can replace the lessons learned through experience. Imagine someone who wants to start a business. They spend months or even years researching, reading, and planning, but never actually take action. Compare that to someone who starts with what they have, learns along the way, and adapts as they go. Who do you think will be further ahead? The one who started, even if they weren't fully ready? Taking action doesn't mean making reckless decisions. It means committing to forward movement, however small. It means sending that email, making that call, writing that first page, or stepping onto that stage. It means breaking down big goals into small achievable steps and focusing on progress, not perfection. Every step forward builds momentum, and momentum fuels confidence. Confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you build through repeated action. Think about learning to ride a bike. No one starts off feeling confident. The first time you wobble, you might fall. But the more you practice, the more stable you become. Eventually you're riding without even thinking about it. Confidence comes from experience, not from waiting until you feel ready. The same applies to anything in life. You don't become a great speaker by thinking about public speaking. You become one by speaking. You don't become a great writer by planning. You become one by writing. The only way to get better at something is to do it. People often assume that successful individuals have some special quality that makes them fearless or naturally confident. But the truth is, they feel fear and uncertainty just like everyone else. The difference is that they act despite it. They understand that action itself is the antidote to fear. When you take action, you shift your focus from worrying about what could go wrong to learning from what is happening. You move from being stuck in your head to engaging with the real world. And in that process, you gain experience, data, and insight that no amount of thinking could ever provide. Some of the most successful people in history didn't start with clarity. They started with action. Steve Jobs didn't have a perfect roadmap when he built Apple. He figured things out as he went. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, had no business experience when she started her company. But instead of doubting herself, she took small steps, testing, learning, and adapting along the way. The common thread among high achievers is not that they had all the answers from the start, but that they were willing to start before they had all the answers. One of the biggest benefits of action is that it reduces fear. When we hesitate, our fears grow larger in our minds. We imagine all the ways things could go wrong. But when we take action, even a small one, we start to see that our fears were often exaggerated. Action proves to us that we are capable. It turns doubt into progress. Each step forward makes the next step easier. Waiting for confidence, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for everything to be just right, these are all ways we hold ourselves back. The only way to gain clarity is to move forward. Start before you feel ready. Take imperfect action. Learn from the experience. Adjust as you go. Momentum builds belief, and belief leads to success. The only thing holding you back is waiting. Fear, failure, and doubt lose their power when you take action. Growth comes from discomfort, success from persistence, and confidence from doing. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Start now, take ownership, and build momentum. The future you want begins with the choices you make today. So ask yourself right now, what's one small step you can take today? Not next week, not next month, today, because your future self isn't waiting for the perfect moment. They're waiting for you to start. Thank you.